Well, hello, my dudes. My name is Steph. Today I'm kind of doing a bookish reading update, so what I've just finished reading, what I plan to read next, a bit of a haul, and a bit of we're just discussing things. So the first thing I want to get through basically is the last book I read, which was Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. I am reading this for the secret reading vlog that my friend Leda already knows about because she asked me about it, and I just told her because I'm not going to make her wait. But it's a secret TBR situation, and this book was one of the books I wanted to read for a specific prompt in this reading challenge, and it didn't hit the challenge at all. Like, I don't know if it's because reading the synopsis, like the back of the book, you would think it would fit in that category. It definitely didn't, but despite that, I enjoyed it. We follow a girl who goes back to her family home, her childhood home, where her father murdered a bunch of people. Just a little heads up, I did think the serial killing in this book would be more of a prominent plot point, and it kind of wasn't. It was the reason certain things happened later, and it was kind of a good reason to explain things, but it wasn't like the sole focus of the book. So I would put this more in a, not even a coming of age, basically a woman kind of accepting her past, who she is, what she's made of, and who she was made by. And I wouldn't call it a serial killer book, I wouldn't call it a ghost book. So anyway, keeping up with this theme, we have the next book that is also from the secret TBR, and it is a September house, so you might be noticing a pattern here. I don't know what this book's about at all. I bought this book because it was on like this list of things I'm reading, and I don't know anything about it. I think I bought it in hardcover because the hardcover was cheaper than the paperback on Amazon, which doesn't make any sense to me, to be honest. But yeah, this is a pretty looking book, so I will hopefully read at least some of it today. That's my goal. I am going out to dinner later tonight, but I mean, I've got a lot of time before then to read this, so hopefully it gets read. Okay, so the next books I want to go through are books I'm on the brink of unhauling. Either I've owned them for too long, or I've read them and didn't enjoy them at the time. We're just going to go through them. I'll explain to you why. So the first one I have is Serendipity, which was a short story collection of 10 romantic tropes transformed, edited by Marissa Meyer. And I only know a couple of the authors in here. So Leah Johnson I've read from, Anna Marie McLemore, Julie Murphy I've read from, and Marissa Meyer. So it's basically exactly what it says. It is 10 romantic tropes transformed. So I'll just go through the tropes quickly with you. We've got the fake relationship, stranded together, class warfare, the best friend, love, epiphany, one bed, the secret admirer, the grand romantic gesture, trapped in a confined space, the makeover, and the matchmaker. I was so excited to buy this collection when it was first announced. I had it on my anticipated releases for so long, and then I bought it at Dimmicks for $20, and I haven't read it since. And it's one of those things where I think it might just be past that time in my life where this is something I want to read, but it isn't gone just yet. I might read one or two stories from this, see how I'm vibing with it. If it's not a vibe, it goes. If I think it's interesting enough, I will just keep it around and pick it up every few days to read a short story from it, but this is very close to getting unhauled. The next book is sort of similar. This was a book I had on my anticipated releases and then received once I pre-ordered it. Just didn't read it, and it is called Don't Tell a Soul by Kirsten Miller. I think the cover is what really attracted me to this book initially, but it does say it's a feminine twist on gothic horror that thrills and chills. There is twists and numerous plot threads that are satisfyingly tied together in a powerful ending, which is so important to me in a book. I hate loose threads. So it's also a gothic horror with nods to Rebecca, and the main character's name is Bram. So she moves to a new house, an old mansion where her uncle James is renovating, and apparently a lot of girls died in this house, so that's a vibe. I want to read this. I'm still interested in it, but I've just never thought about it. I forgot that I owned it until I was going through my shelves the other day. So if this doesn't get read soon, it's never going to get read. I also have How to Kill a Rockstar by Tiffany D. Bartello. This book, okay, I think Colleen Hoover rated this book a 5-star on Goodreads, I think. I also remember wanting to read it and I could not find a copy anywhere for a reasonable price, and then I found this at Savers for $4, so I was so excited to own this book. I remember seeing it and thinking, oh holy shit, this is my unicorn. Like it's $4 instead of the $50 plus $20 shipping I have to spend online. I think it is a romance. I don't know much about it, and I'm not super interested in it anymore. Too much time has passed. There are so many other romances I want to get to, but again, I will try this, and if it doesn't get read, I want to say by mid-year, it's also going to get unhauled. Lastly, I have got a book that I did read and I just didn't enjoy as much as other people did. I thought I was missing something just, it didn't click for me, and I don't know if it's because I was in a really bad headspace when I read it or if it's just not the book for me, but I do want to give it another shot because it is quite the short book, and it's called My Sister the Serial Killer. This made its rounds on Book Talk and BookTube. Maybe not Book Talk, I don't think TikTok was a thing back then, but I remember a lot of people on BookTube and a lot of people on Goodreads were raving about this book, and it's interesting. It is told in little vignettes, and it follows a woman whose sister always ends up killing her boyfriends in self-defense, and she always calls her sister and says, I need help, you need to help me clean up, you need to help me get rid of the body, and our main character is kind of over it. And when she becomes interested in a guy, she's really worried that her sister is going to set her sights on her potential love interest. It's told, I think I might have just said this, in vignettes, so not full chapters, just little 1 to 2 page snippets of our main character's life. And it sounds so interesting, and it should have been so interesting, but it didn't land for me, so I really want to give it another shot before I unhaul it for realsies, because it's such an interesting idea. And I think there was a couple of moments that genuinely, they shook me to my core, but for the most part, I think I gave this a 3-star, and that was back before I realized that 3 stars are above average. So I don't know. Lastly, I just want to go through some books I have bought recently. I'm very excited about them all. Most of them are new releases, if not new-ish releases. We'll get into it. The first one I wanted to show you guys is The Fury by Alex Michaelides. I loved The Silent Patient. I made my mum, I made my stepmom, and I made my best friend, and maybe my other best friend, I don't know if he read it, but I made at least 3 people in my life read The Silent Patient. We all equally loved it because none of us saw the twist coming because we're all taking the book at face value. Then I read The Maidens, and The Maidens was just, I don't know what happened between The Silent Patient and The Maidens. The Maidens was like it was trying to be The Secret History, but failed in a really, the ending, it didn't make any sense. It wasn't a thriller where you don't see what's happening until the end, but when you look back you can realize what's happened. There was none of that. It just threw out a random plot twist at the end that no one would have been able to predict. There was no clues, there was no breadcrumbs leading to the ending. From what I remember, I didn't like The Maidens at all. I actually unhauled it because my mum didn't even want to keep it. But this is his newest book. It is The Fury, and again, I don't know what this is about. I think it's basically a retelling of And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Bunch of friends go to a private Greek island. Someone is a murderer, and I'm guessing people are getting killed off. There's 7 of us on the island, one of us was a murderer. It's right there. So I'm excited. I just hope Alex does not let me down again, because The Maidens really destroyed some of my trust in this man as an author. The next one I have to show you, I did not realize was releasing in February. In my head, it was months down the track. It is Bride by Ellie Hazelwood. I cannot wait to read this book. I am so excited to have this in my life, and there are so many other things on my TBR that are a higher priority, but this I'm so excited for. We all know Ellie Hazelwood. I think we all mostly like Ellie Hazelwood, and this is a vampire werewolf story. That's all I know about it, and that is all I need to know. I'm excited. I don't have any other words except I am just ecstatic to read it. The next 2 books are part of a duology. So I have got Becoming Colder and Finding Eden. So these are 2 books. Mia Sheridan has a very interesting backstory, I guess. She self-published a lot. So this duology is called the Acadia duology, but these books are also part of the Signs of Love series. So back when me and Sheridan first self-published all of her books, these were part of a longer series where each book focused on one of the zodiac signs, and Becoming Colder actually focuses on the Aquarius, which is my star sign. It is my birthday this month, in case anyone was wondering. So yeah, I'm excited that I have an Aquarius book, and Finding Eden, it might also be Aquarius, yeah, because it's like a continuation. I don't know much about these books. I do know that it follows Calder and Eden, and they are, I think they grow up in a cult or like a remote commune, and it's about them trying to escape, I guess, find a way to be together. I'm very excited, and I just think these books are so stunning. I have always wanted to read these books, but the previous covers, it was like, insert if I remember. They're just not my vibe. These are just a lot more simple, a lot more clean looking, and the colors are absolutely beautiful. Very excited. And then today I went to the local shopping center and I picked up 2 more books. So I finally purchased A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber, because I own the first 2 books in this series, and I guess I was just putting off buying this book because I haven't read the first 2 books, but like the cover is so beautiful, I couldn't not buy it, and now I have the complete series, I can maybe start reading them. And I also bought Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. This is the one book by T. Kingfisher that I don't think is going to be my vibe at all, because I think it's more fairy tale based than thriller based. Like, it's more fantasy and fantastical than scary thing happens to scared person in scary house. But I'm still going to read it eventually. Maybe not today. I've got a lot of hay fever today, so that's really fun. I think what I'm going to do now, I have to write up a movie review for a movie I watched last night with Sarah. We watched a movie called Brightwood. Weird movie, like good vibes. Ending was absolutely just made no sense to either of us. So I'm going to do that. I think I might watch a little bit of my YouTube watch later playlist, and then I might start the September house. I sound so nasally right now. Oh geez. Oh geez. Anyway, I will hopefully give you guys a bit of an update if I start the September house later. Does anyone else remember how yesterday I literally said that I was going to try and start the September house yesterday? It is Sunday night. I have not touched it. I haven't even thought about it. It was, I don't know how hot it was today in Melbourne, probably 33 degrees. No, I think today was 35 and tomorrow's 33. 35 degrees Celsius is very hot, especially in my bedroom. There's no air conditioning in my bedroom, so I literally slept all day. That's all I did. And I've just been watching YouTube videos for the last like 4 hours. But I did receive 2 books in the mail today that I ordered, I think yesterday or the day before. So first we have a new release from Miss Frida McFadden, the teacher. I have no idea what this is about. I never know what any of Frida's books are about before I pick them up. But I have got this one and The Co-Worker and Never Lie. Those are the 3 I own that I haven't read. I'm going to probably prioritize Frida McFadden. I do have a week of annual leave coming up in 2 days' time. Hopefully there'll be a lot of vlogging and a lot of reading in that time. But, you know, don't trust anything I say ever, because apparently I lie to myself a lot. But I got this one. I think it was just released, and I picked up a short story collection that I have been interested in for a couple of years. I think I have the ebook of it, but I don't know, I just decided I was in the mood for something short and easy to get through. So this is How to Pronounce Knife, and I'm not entirely sure what the genre of the short stories are. It's not like a horror short story collection. It's not a YA short story collection. I think it actually might just be it says a subversive collection. Stories that are slender, spare, and slide between your ribs. I really don't know, but this is her. I was really hoping I would have an update for the September house. I do not. I don't actually know if there's going to be any more additions to this video. There might be. This is kind of just a bookish catch-up, if you will. I don't really have much more to catch you up on, but I guess I'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll read more than I did today, which would be impossible not to hit because I read 0 today. So anything higher than 0 tomorrow will be a vast improvement. I'm going to continue watching YouTube videos, and I will talk to you soon. Okay guys, since you've last seen me, I have turned 28 and I have dyed my hair purple, which I'm loving. So I have a couple of more bookish updates to go through with you, and then we're just gonna end the video. So I've got an update on the September house. So I'm about halfway through the September house and I absolutely adore it. I think the plot is going to be a bit of a slow burn, but the action picks up straight away. Like, the first chapter of this book talks about how the walls of this house bleed every September for the entire month. It is a haunted house story and it is really quite interesting so far. There's a lot of ghostly characters we're meeting, a lot of the strange happenings inside and outside the house, and I'm very intrigued to see where this book goes. So I'm going to read a little bit more of it in just a bit. I also received 2 books from Amazon this week. So the first one is Revenge by Yoko Agawa. This is a short story collection. I don't necessarily think they're horror stories, but I know that they're meant to be ominous and dark, but beautiful and macabre. I guess horror, I guess maybe dark literary fiction. I've wanted this for a while, so I'm glad I got it. I also found, that's really funny, I just found this book on, I think it was a Facebook group. This is a short story collection called Found, which is all about found footage videos, tapes. Each short story is by a different author. There's a bunch of authors I've never heard of before. I don't think I've actually read from any of these authors, but I'm excited, and I've heard that this is really good and it looks like an old VHS tape. I also went to a couple of secondhand stores the other day. I found these 2 at the Salvation Army and they were both pretty cheap. So I found The Patient by Jasper DeWitt. A lot of people have raved about this book. It's a really short thriller about a man who's been in a psychiatric ward since he was a child, and I don't think he speaks. But then a new psychiatrist or psychologist starts at this ward and tries to find out what's making this guy tick. And he's probably going to find some messed up stuff. But I know that Gabby from Gabby Reads really liked this book, so I'm excited. It says it's Stephen King meets The Silent Patient, so I'm sure that I'll like it. And I also picked up Don't Fear the Reaper by Stephen Graham Jones. Now, people may not know this, especially not on this channel. I read My Heart is a Chainsaw a couple of years ago and I did not vibe with it. I didn't entirely understand the book. I felt like I was too stupid to understand the book, to understand the plot and the characters and what was actually happening versus what was just our character making shit up. I didn't want to read this book. I said, I'm not going to bother with a sequel. There's no point. However, it was $2 and there is a tiny part of me that thinks maybe I should see where the story goes, because I'm sure it's only gotten worse for me, but some people say that it was a really good sequel, so I guess I'll read a couple of chapters, and if I don't commit to it, it's fine. It can just go back to the Salvation Army, and like, it's fine. The last book I want to tell you about is one I actually received today. It was part of my birthday present from the beautiful Lita. Thank you for watching my videos. I love that you do. Thank you very much. She bought me this book and I've seen this going around YouTube and TikTok. It is Unhinged. Now, this is an erotic romance between a woman and I think it's the front door of her apartment. I've heard people discuss it. And she bought this for me in response to me buying Room for her, like buying books that are kind of funny and messed up, but maybe enjoyable. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see because I don't know what to expect with this. And it is pretty short. So there's only 82 pages, so it'll be a quick read and hopefully a fun one. Thank you to Lita for getting me that because I don't think I ever would have purchased it for myself. And that is, I think, what the end of the video. This is just a bookish update catch up. There was no point or purpose to this video. So I think this video is just about done. I'm going to go read a little bit more of the September house and that's all I got to say. Let me know, do you like my hair purple? I think it is really fun, but I think it looks a lot lighter on camera than it does in person. Anyway, I am going to go. Enjoy your day, night, wherever you are.